Hi, I'm Joan Conover. This is Seven Seas Cruising Association, and I'm very proud to present our host from the Galapagos Island, who's Javier Rizo, and I have my co-coordinator, Stephen Tetros, standing by here. But what I'd like to do today is to share what Javier has going to be telling us about what's happening in the Galapagos, and then he will be joining us for the Mexico South to Panama presentation that will include hosts from the western side of Mexico, from Panama, and now from the Galapagos Islands as well, as boats are staging and trying to figure out what they're going to do during this emergency. But let me bring the screen up here. And first of all, we have a sponsor, which is Nauticad, and they have kindly agreed to sponsor so we can afford these events. This is Seven Seas. This is September 16th, and we're talking to Yacht Agents Galapagos, who is Javier. And he is one of our hosts, and you can find him on our website, www.ssca.org. And I'm going to put this map up because this is the Galapagos Islands. And Javier, would you please tell us what is happening there, what is going to happen maybe in the future, and how you can assist?
Yeah, well, hello everybody. I'm here in Galapagos, basically here in the Galapagos Islands. One of the most favorite places for cruisers. Well, the big question here is Galapagos open? And the answer is yes. Galapagos is open now from August, the first week of August. It is open for cruisers. But we have a mandatory requirement for people who wants to come here. You need a PCR test, negative PCR test. And that's the only mandatory requirement regarding COVID, regarding these current situations here. We also have authorization to assist people, assist cruisers with a real emergency. But yes, this is the current situation here in Galapagos. I would like to send you, then I would like to share with you some information about the requirements besides the COVID test negative, about what you need to stop here. Now, I have actually two cruisers here, two sailboats. The name, one came from Panama and the other one came from Nicaragua. They achieved the whole requirements and they are already spending time here. There are a couple of other boats with other companies. It is a super yacht and the other is a sailboat, but they are cruising around the protected areas, around these areas. We are here, we're basically here in Santa Cruz. One of my clients is here and the other one is here in San Cristobal Island. So yeah, that's the current situation here in Galapagos. Galapagos is totally open for people, for visitors and yachts. We actually need, we depends on the tourism. Our industry, our people depends on the 80% of tourism. So we are totally open for cruisers. We really need the cruisers to reactive our economy, because that is one of the worst problem here now in Galapagos. The economy was really hit. We are trying to make our best in order to meet our customers' needs. You know, I don't know if you have, yeah.
If a person gets a COVID test and they're coming on a sailboat, you know, sometimes it takes them a while to get there. Is there a time limit? Say they come from Panama with a negative COVID test.
Yeah, you have to make your test at least, I mean, no more than 72 hours. Okay.
So how does this work for a sailboat? Would they could take a COVID test, but then they're going to sail to the Galapagos. Mm-hmm. How is that going to work, do you think?
Yeah, it helps. It is not an official requirement because you know you can spend 10 days sailing from Panama to Galapagos, but it really helps because you know you have a negative test, but you also have 10 days sailing as isolation, and it will be very helpful because it means that if you have any kind of symptom, you should feel it in the road to Galapagos. So it is one of the safe groups of tourists that can come to the Galapagos are precisely the cruisers because you have a negative test and you have 10 days sailing, so which means that you have no problems.
So I'm a cruiser in Panama. Where do I go to do the paperwork to get permission to come? How do I do that?
To pay, sorry.
Pretend that I'm a cruiser in Panama and I want to get permission to go to the Galapagos.
Yeah.
Do I get a hold of you and you help me do that?
Of course, yes. We highly recommend our clients, our customers, to apply your documents in advance, at least 6 weeks, because it takes a while to get takes a while to get your permission to get here. We have an entry permit, which is called autographo, which is the only permit for you and your vessel. Okay. Then we also have some other requirements to enter the Galapagos. And I will share this information with you. Let's see. In general terms, you need to have, for example, let's see.
Well, Xavier, maybe the easier thing to do is that they can either contact you or we will
Yeah.
put a package together so that
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
so cruisers can see that rather than trying to do all of this during a webinar. But if they come into the Galapagos, they go to Santa Cruz or they go to San Cristobal?
No, the mandatory port of arrival is San Cristobal. I have a pack of information that you can contact me, and I will send you all the information that you need to know. All the information.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Now, boats can come in. How long can they stay?
Boats are allowed to stay up to 60 days.
So if we were staying 60 days, what would you recommend that we would do? We would come there, is there quarantine? And then after that, where would we go?
Yeah, well, you don't have to do any quarantine. As soon as you arrive here, you are allowed to go everywhere. Okay? So, yeah, you don't need any quarantine. As I told you before, the first port of arrival is San Cristobal, here, Puerto Vaquerizo in San Cristobal Island. Then there are many things to do here, around here. Okay, you can take, for example, daily tours to visit Española, the island here, or Floriana, or maybe here there is a small islet called Rock, where you can go for snorkeling, for diving. It is important to know that with the entry permit, you only can visit the inhabited ports, which are Puerto Vaquerizo here in San Cristobal, Puerto Ayora here in Santa Cruz Island, and Puerto Villamil here in Isabela Island. I'm located here, but I have staff in the three islands. So
you're in Santa Cruz. You're in Santa
yes,
Cruz.
yeah,
So boats come to San Cristobal.
yeah.
Then
First,
they can go
yes,
to Santa Cruz.
yes,
And then they can go to Isabela.
Isabela, yes,
Certain ports,
correct.
certain ports.
Yeah, exactly. And then they can leave the country to the South Pacific, to Marquesas or wherever they want from here. Okay. This is our schedule. This is our itinerary. San Cristobal, Santa Cruz, then Isabela, and then they can leave.
Do they leave from Isabela or do they have to check out at San Cristobal?
No, they can leave actually from Santa Cruz or Isabela, or if you decide to come back to San Cristobal, you can do it. Yes, there is no need to come back to San Cristobal. You can leave either from Santa Cruz or Isabela if you want.
What about having an exit COVID test for getting to the Marquesas? Can people have a COVID test there?
Yeah, we have, but we have a lab here, but you have to be very aware that we have a lot of limitations here because of isolation. You know, we are 60 nautical miles from the mainland, and all our resources are very limited. So that is why you always have to take in mind, because it may be a problem for you in case that we have no tests for you know, for cruisers, because the authorities are focused on to assist the local people first.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that I really have to let you know it is that recently we have an outbreak here in Santa Cruz. In San Cristobal, there were actually 10 COVID cases, and they are all recovered, but it is only one left, which is still active. Isabel Island, it is COVID free, but here is in Santa Cruz, because here is the big city, I can say. We have an outbreak here. There are almost like 70 cases here, but everything is under control. Everyone is in isolation. The authorities, they are doing a really good job. And that's what I can say about this.
So in other words, people need to stay in touch with you to find out what's
Absolutely.
going on.
Yeah. If you want, I mean, people need to contact an agent first here to come to the Galapagos. This is mandatory. When you want to come to Galapagos, you need to contact an agent first in order to start the application, you know, in advance.
Okay. Now, supplies, provisioning, any problems with that during this pandemic time?
Not really. We had no problems with that, actually, because we also have farms here in the highlands of each of the inhabited islands, and they provide with, you know, with the supplies, you know, food, fresh stuffs, veggies and fruits, mostly.
So, and also for, say, engine repair or sail repair, where do you recommend we go?
Well, Santa Cruz, here we have the best facilities for selling, you know, for repairs, for provisions, because we have a big supermarket here. There are also provisions in the other islands, but here, because of it is the center of the Galapagos, you can find most of the facilities here.
Excellent. Um, let's see. So we have facilities and everything at Santa Cruz. We check in at San Cristobal.
Yeah.
Then we could go to Santa Cruz, do our shopping or go around sightseeing at San Cristobal too, probably.
Yeah.
Do you wear a mask?
Sorry?
Are
Yeah,
masks
yeah, yeah.
required? Okay.
Yeah. We have some mandatory requirements when you are here, and one of them it is to wear masks. You know, you have to wear masks. You have to bring hand sanitizer and alcohol, and that's.
What about restaurants? Are you eating inside or outside or anything like that?
Yeah. Most of the restaurants are open. They have some codes. There are there can be only 50% of the capacity. It is the same with the souvenir stores, with the shops. They have they have limitations. You can everyone everyone has to respect the social distancing. You know, we have protocols here. We have good protocols for people. because we have limitations, and the authorities, they want to prevent, you know,
An outbreak.
yes, an outbreak, a big outbreak, which could be a big problem for us.
Now, I see on this map, there used to be ferries going around to the different locations and stuff. They're not doing that now, are they?
They are, but not as we were used. We had 6 ferries in the morning, 6 ferries in the afternoon. Now we only have 2 or 3 ferries by week. So, because there are no tourists, I have to be honest, there are not tourists as we were used. There are a few tourists here. Most of them are Ecuadorians from the mainland. Um, that is why. I mean, you know, there is no demand, so that is why there is not offer.
Where are the ferries going now? What islands? Just San Cristobal, Santa Cruz, and Isabela?
And Isabela, yes. And sometimes Floriana. I forgot to tell you, there is a small population here in Floriana Island, Santa Maria, but there is almost like 200 people. But you have no authorization to go with your boat here because they are COVID free as well. But the authorization, the entry permit only allows to go to San Cristobal, Santa Cruz, Isabela. And here we have a small island here, Baltra, but there is no permanent population there. It is, there is only the fuel terminal for large vessels. And there is not too much things to do there.
So in other words, cruisers, when they get a hold of you and get a package and find out, they can ask what has changed or what's available for them to visit,
Yeah.
because that may change. That may change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you think of anything else to share with people who may be looking at coming to the Galapagos?
Yeah, well, I can say that everything here is under control. We have good protocols for people, for tourists. The authorities are doing a good job. I have to recognize that. And we are totally open for people. We need tourists because we depend on tourists. So our economy is, I cannot use this, I would like to not use that word, but it's devastating because we depend on tourism, and if we don't have those people coming every day, we are getting a real problem. So I think that even the things will be getting better for the next year, because the authorities are working, the government is working on the reactivation, and many other things will be getting better as well. You know, we have to be very prepared. We have to live with the virus. You know, we have to be. We need to work, and that is why we try to prevent, you know, any kind of outbreak or something. But the virus is here. The virus is everywhere, and we have to do. I mean, we have to live with them, you know, with the virus.
Well, let's see what happens in the next couple months. And again, you're going to be a panelist on the Western Mexico to Panama presentation. We're hoping to do it in the first week in October, not sooner than that. Everyone's waiting for information. You know, it's one step at a time. Panama's opening 1 October. There are boats that are posted on both sides of Panama. And then you have boats in the Pacific that can't go south to New Zealand or Australia. They're in a hurricane zone and they're rather concerned, but there's no place for them to go. They can't go forward. So they're kind of full. So it's kind of figuring out what the timing is, when you come, what you do. But the Galapagos being open would be a very nice place. It's not that far away from from the main continents. So maybe there's some opportunities there. And we'll just have to continue this conversation, Javier.
Sure, absolutely.
So Xavier, thank you so much.
You're
We
welcome.
will continue talking with you, and we look forward to having you give an update when we do the Western Mexico to Panama cruising host event. Stephen, any comments?
No, you got my wife and I looking at the chart, see how far it is to Galapagos. We're interested in coming.
Oh,
Ah, thank you.
that would be fun. He's splashing in the water October 15th or somewhere around there.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're going to be heading south. So thank you very much, Xavier. It's been wonderful talking with you. Take care of your children.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Xavier. Xavier is with Yacht Agents Galapagos. You see his email address. Find Xavier at www.ssca.org in the member directory. Below is his contact information. You will find him at Santa Cruz, which is the center island in the Galapagos group, but he has agents in other areas. Remember, we only have 3 places that we can actually go if we visit the Galapagos, but we actually can take our vessels there. Many thanks to our sponsor, Nauticad. They're dedicated to develop structured learning. Try it for free, brought to you by SSCA. You now get 2 classes free. Follow the link below or look for Nauticad on our website. 2 free courses so you can get some certificate courses started. Our next programs will be September 30th, which will be offshore sailing opportunities, USA to Caribbean. That is with Hank Schmidt and David Lyman. We're going to schedule a Western Mexico to Panama. See it on our web homepage, ssca.org. Look for the October Western Mexico to Panama webinar. October 15th, heading south for snowbirds. That's going to be a lot of fun with Stephen and Dawn Bell, who have Blue Dot Voyages. November 12th will be Florida, Bahamas, and weather. And then December 10th, we're going to be doing an update for cruisers. Thank you very much for being part of this program. I hope you've enjoyed this effort to share our information with cruisers.